What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports to On Show. And on today's video, I will be continuing my series of doing a 7-round mock draft for each NFL team. I recently got done several days ago doing the Baltimore Ravens and the New Orleans Saints. So today is the Green Bay Packers. So we'll go ahead and get started here with the Green Bay Packers first round pick. It'll be really interesting to see what the Packers do. The Packers picked 29th overall in the first round. So with their first round pick, I had them taking Clemson running back Travis Etienne. I know that may not be really a great pick there. I personally like it. But, the Packers need wide receiver. It's not – they really could use wide receiver big time. And the thing I like about Etienne a lot, he reminds me a lot of Christian McCaffrey, actually. And with Aaron Jones being a free agent, I really doubt Green Bay will re-sign him. I did not have a ton of cap space. I know a wide receiver, Terrence Marshall from LSU, and Rondell Moore were actually gone at this pick. Something to keep in mind is this is from a mock draft simulator from Pro Football Network. So I can't really dictate which player is available and what player, is a reach or falls to what round, everything like that. These also include the compensatory picks. They're recently released a couple of days ago. And, once again, we are live on here on YouTube like I do every single video. So we have Travis Etienne in the first round. I think he'll be a really nice replacement for Aaron Jones because I really doubt Green Bay re-signs Jones. I wouldn't be surprised if Jones went to Miami. So Etienne in the first round, it's not even a guarantee that Etienne will be there, but if he is, I really like that pick there for Green Bay. But their second round pick, I had them taking Elijah Moore, the wide receiver from Ole Miss. Personally, I really like this pick here. I think it makes a lot of sense. Something else, like I said, we did not go wide receiver in round one. Elijah Moore, to me, is probably the best route runner in this draft class. If this wide receiver class wasn't so loaded, I would not even be surprised if Elijah Moore ended up potentially being even a first-round pick. It would be really interesting to see where he goes. Because the guys like Terrence Marshall, Rondell Moore, Amari Rodgers from Clemson, Elijah Moore, all those guys are kind of mid-second. A couple of those guys could be, late first, maybe around even the Packers' first-round pick. But I really like this pick. They need wide receiver desperately. They had Devontae Adams, and that's really it. And I just really think this could be a good pick. Have Aaron Rodgers have another really nice weapon on offense. So I take Elijah Moore, the wide receiver from Ole Miss, in the second. In the third, I had them taking Chaz Surratt, the linebacker from North Carolina. This past offseason, they lost Blake Martinez in free agency. And when they traded up to Jordan Love in the first round last season, I really thought when they traded up, they were going to trade up for Patrick Queen because he was still available. And if they would have traded for Patrick Queen, in my opinion, that would have been a perfect trade for Green Bay. Because, like I said, they lost Blake Martinez, but, they drafted Jordan Love instead. Shocked a lot of people. And linebacker is a pretty big issue for Green Bay. Chaz Surratt's going to be the best linebacker around this pick. When he came to North Carolina, he was actually a quarterback. Fast forward a few years later, and he is one of the top linebackers in this draft. I would really like Surratt in the third round for the Packers. He can kind of, fill that void with Blake Martinez's, departure this past season. I actually had two fourth-round picks here. With their first fourth-round pick, I had them taking Marvin Wilson, the defensive tackle from Florida State. I really like this pick here. Their defense is kind of the bigger issue. Look, they need a wide receiver to help Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. With, Aaron Jones, him being up in the air, not knowing if he'll re-sign with Green Bay, they could use a running back. It's only their main spots on offense, but on defense, they could really use defensive line and edge rushers and defensive tackles. Marvin Wilson, to me, is one of the better defensive tackles in this draft class. He'll more than likely be the best defensive tackle at this pick. I really like this pick here. I think it'll be a great pick for Green Bay. I think he'll be a big piece of their future on their defensive line. So like I said, they have two fourth round picks, and their fourth round pick is just a couple picks after 142nd overall. And I have them taking edge rusher Shaka Toney. Just said they can use defensive lineman. Shaka Toney, to me, outstanding player, is not really getting the credit he deserves. I think he should be higher on people's mock drafts. I've seen him from anywhere to the third to the late fifth. I personally believe he should be around the fourth, maybe even third. But I mean, you get two great defensive linemen in the fourth round. I think Marvin Wilson and Chuck Tony are two outstanding picks here for Green Bay, and both those guys are going to be a big part of the Packers defense in the future. So they have two fifth-round picks here. With their first fifth-round pick, I had them taking corner Cameron Bynum from California. Bynum, to me, is a really interesting corner. You watch some of the tape from Mills, the quarterback of Stanford. It's hard to not notice Cameron Bynum had a big impact in that game. Made Mills difficult throwing the ball at times. They could use more depth at corner, so I really like that pick there in the fifth. With their second fifth-round pick, I absolutely love this pick. This is might be my favorite pick of this draft. I have them taking Trevon Grimes, the wide receiver of Florida, in the fifth round. And if you watch Florida, I mean, it's not hard to notice at all how amazing Kyle Pitts is and Kadarius Toney with his speed. Kyle Pitts is a generational talent at the tight end position. Kadarius Toney is one of the fastest wide receivers in the draft this upcoming season. But I really feel like Trevon Grimes is not really getting the credit he deserves because he's getting overlooked by Pitts and Toney in that offense. I mean, if you go back and watch some of those games, Trevon Grimes is extremely underrated, and he makes some amazing catches, especially in that Georgia game. He had an insane catch. I believe it was over Tyson Campbell, who's projected to be a second-round pick, corner from Georgia. So I would love Grimes in the fifth. I know we already took Elijah Moore in the second, but you could really use multiple wide receivers to be the Green Bay Packers because you really don't have anybody good aside from Devontae Adams. So we're going to the sixth round here. They actually have two sixth-round picks and one seventh-round pick. With their first sixth round, I had them taking Riley Cole from South Alabama. I know we already took Chad Surratt, but I really, really like Riley Cole here. I think, I know two linebackers, they don't have that star linebacker. Riley Cole's averaged over 100 tackles the past 2 seasons. He's one of the more underrated linebackers in the draft, and it's not really getting the credit he deserves because he played at a small school like South Alabama. But I really like that pick in the sixth. With their second sixth-round pick, I had them taking offensive tackle from Marshall, Josh Ball. They could use a little bit more depth at offensive tackle, but they've had some injuries this past year or so with offensive tackle. Josh Ball has some character issues. I think this would be a good pick here with a 218th overall pick in the draft. The sixth one also, maybe somebody else took in mind at that pick, is Doyle, the offensive tackle from Miami, Ohio. He is pretty underrated as well. I think Ball or Doyle, either one of those picks would be great for the Green Bay Packers. So we're just tuning in, doing a sit-around mock draft of the Green Bay Packers live on YouTube. They have one seventh-round pick. It's their last pick of the draft, and I know I already had them taking 2 linebackers. But I actually had them taking another one here. I had them taking Tavante Beckett, the linebacker from Marshall. Beckett was the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year. He was a transfer from Virginia Tech. His size is a major issue. I believe he's only 5'9". In my opinion, if he was 5'11" or 6 foot, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he was drafted in the 4th or 5th round. But due to his size and not the huge level of competition of playing at Marshall, that really takes him down draft boards quite a bit, all over the field. I know I had him taking 3 linebackers, but it's not out of the question that a team like Green Bay may take 3 linebackers. For example, last season, the Cincinnati Bengals actually drafted 3 linebackers: Logan Wilson in the 3rd, Akeem Davis-Gaither in the 4th, and they took one in Marcus Bailey in the 7th. So I do think it is possible that the Packers could draft 3 linebackers, possibly, even 3 wide receivers, depending what wide receivers, fall in the draft. But I think this offseason for Green Bay will be really interesting, and especially the draft, if they'll re-sign Aaron Jones, if, they may sign like a top wide receiver, who knows. So that was kind of my Green Bay Packers 7th-round mock draft. I will go over these picks here one more time. In the first round, Travis Etienne, the running back of Clemson. In the second round, Elijah Moore, the wide receiver from Ole Miss. In the third, Chaz Surratt, the linebacker from North Carolina. In the fourth round, I had them taking Marvin Wilson, the defensive tackle from Florida State. Also in the fourth, I had them taking edge rusher Shaka Toney from Penn State. In the fifth round, Cameron Bynum, the cornerback from California University. Also in the fifth, Trevon Grimes, the wide receiver of Florida. Grimes there, that's probably my favorite pick of this draft. In the sixth round, Riley Cole, the linebacker from South Alabama. Also in the sixth, Josh Ball, the offensive tackle from Marshall. And with the last pick of the draft in the seventh round, I have them taking Vontae Beckett, the linebacker from Marshall. So thank you so much for listening. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports 2 Hunt Show.